Hey there, so today we have another review. This is a beer courtesy of Jeff. Turning the gain up a little bit. Everybody's sleeping, so thankfully this mic's good enough for that, all that. So you guys supposed to come with any audio issues, but this is Strange Trails. Strange Trails. Don't really know the reference on here. They all look like a bunch of that. I never watched a movie. Was it like Guardians of the Galaxy? I don't know. They all look like those guys. I don't know what's going on here, but who knows? Um, sure, Strange Trails. So, is this a Stranger Things reference? It's got to be a Stranger Things reference, right? I don't know. I can't tell. I can't tell what's going on with the label. Anyway, cool art. This is from Evergreen. They've been around since 2016. Actually, I didn't know that, so pretty cool. They've been around for quite a while. Evergreen. This is their IPA, 7.4% on the Untapped and the slash website, whatever. I found is Simcoe Mosaic. And I'm also really pumped. This is not a hazy. Look at that guy. Well, I guess it does actually have a solid haze to it, but it doesn't look like a hazy IPA. There's got to be some amount of like darker malts in here. The beer comes in like a medium gold color. It has like a sunset orange kind of hue to it. It does have a bit of a haze. It's definitely like a solid medium haze. It looks almost like a Hefeweizen. Well, the haze is Hefeweizen-ish, but it's way darker. So almost like a pale Weizenbock, something like that. Wonderful fluffy wet head. Yeah, see. Okay, yeah. Good amount of allium in here. So onion, garlic. I assume that is the Simcoe. Yeah, yeah. You can get some pretty dank versions of Simcoe. Yeah, Diesely for sure. A little bit of malt sweetness in there. This smells like more like traditional IPA. It is piney, but tons of onion and garlic in here. Savory. Maybe a little bit of like orangey grapefruit sweetness. It's like malty sweetness, but yeah. I think some people don't like that onion garlic. This is quite heavy on it, so maybe why people don't like it. The Untapped rating was not very flattering either, but we'll see how I like it. Oh yeah. Is it onion garlic bomb? I mean, I can see why people don't like it. If you're drinking Evergreen for the fluffy, hazy, fruity, tropical, blah 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 blah, you're not getting it here. Reminds me of Pacific Northwest. Despite the nose being so garlic and oniony, it's actually more soily. So it really drinks like a Portland style IPA. Get a solid, like those beers are not really bitter. Like there's a medium bitterness to it, but they really have that noticeable soily base tone. A little bit of a light kind of like a little bit of biscuit in here, a little bit of malt sweetness. But yeah, it tastes like a Portland style IPA. It looks like those too, because a lot of those unfiltered, so they're very hoppy. They obviously dry hop it a ton, not necessarily filtered or completely dropped out. So you can get a little bit of haze, but they have a little bit of malt to them, but they're not like dark, right? They're not like Sierra Nevada beers where you get like an almost like amber kind of tone to an IPA. Here it's like maybe a little bit of color, definitely soily, definitely oniony, definitely dank, definitely piney, definitely weed heavy, a little bit of malt to it, right? Medium plus bitterness at worst. You get a little bit of polyphenol green here. Offers a little bit of complexity, playing with that kind of like chive, onion, garlic thing going on. Piney for days, soily for days. It's just a solid, refreshing IPA. Like it's nice having these beers that, I mean, I sometimes like them like a little bit drier, a little bit cleaner, a little bit more bitter, a little bit sharper, a little bit more fruity, right? Like that pushes the ideal maybe, but it is a really nice, snappy break to have bitterness. There's a nice kind of like tea tannic kind of thing that like sort of like the hops sort of play that kind of tea tannic dryness, which is quite nice, and that helps accentuate dryness and also push with bitterness, right? Making this beer look a little bit more refreshing than, obviously I've reviewed a bunch of like hazy IPAs, fruited, desserty, smoothie-ish kind of IPAs, right? Like this IPA is like, snappier and really is a Portland style product, which is a shame because, I think this gets a 3.7 on Untapped. Absolutely ridiculous. This beer is actually quite tasty. Like this is a pint beer, like an easy pint beer. 7.4. As I wait more, I get a little too much of this kind of like tea-like tannic bitterness. not bitterness, this tannic dryness. It has a little too much of this kind of like, I mean, polyphenols. I don't know what it is, but it comes off a little too soily. It might be the bitterness. Like it comes off too soily and a little bit too much like you grabbed a tea bag that you already used and just went like this and squeezed it into your mouth, right? That's tannins right there. Wine has it, beer can have it sometimes, but tea, coffee, wine for sure have tannins, and it's that kind of like squeezing a tea bag in your mouth kind of thing. It's a bitter, dry kind of a sensation. This beer has just a hair too much of it for me, but very tasty. I like where it's at. The onion garlic dankness. It's just inviting. Like it's so sad to see it just completely disappear from beers these days. Obviously, I prefer a little bit more complexity to it, but it's onion garlic for days. Rating. I'm just seeking out more dry beers these days. I sort of enjoy them. I like the big juice bomb, blah blah. Thank you for the Julius and other Treehouse beers, Jeff. But this is good. Yeah, solid 95. 95. That is Strange Trails from Evergreen. This needs just as much respect as their hazy IPAs. The fact is, this gets a 3.7 is it makes no sense. Like they have like they produce obviously world class IPAs, hazy IPAs at 4.1, 4.2, blah blah, and this gets a 3.7. That's like joke. Like this is just as good. It's a nice break, quality beer. Maybe I'm just searching for that tonight. It definitely has more flaws than I recognize. 93. 93. That's a very solid rating. This is very tasty beer. It's a nice break from everything. Strange Trails. Thank you so much, Jeff. Until next time. Cheers later.